Well, George, it's a great time to be a Raging Cajun.
Absolutely. What a great couple of weeks. Congrats to you and the basketball team for making the big dance. It's a time of year that I can speak on behalf of all the fans how excited we are. So,
well, thank you much. Certainly Coach Marla and his program have done an outstanding job. We got our spring sports in season right now, and they're all doing very well. So here's to a successful spring sports season.
Awesome.
Okay,
good.
Ramesh, I'm crashing the party.
How are you?
But I'm told I'm supposed to be here to talk about someone getting honored. So
yes.
What was that about? I was looking at a proposal, so I have no idea what's going on.
I'm not sure either, but he's looking pretty good, with his red and white. So are we trying to talk about Bryan here?
Well, you can always talk about me, but today we're here to talk about our very good friend, Mr. Bryan Hanks.
Bryan Hanks, absolutely. Well, I knew you didn't go to school here, but
I did not. But I did go to school.
I'm not so sure any school.
Well, but his good looks always carry him along the way.
So what are we doing with Bryan Hanks?
Well, Bryan is Mr. Hanks has been recognized as one of the greatest alumni that this university ever had. So. And I'm so thankful that finally his name is called up. Look, I mean, if I can summarize what I think of Bryan in one word, it's Michelle. Michelle is actually a key player over here. And here's Michelle.
Here's Michelle.
But in all seriousness, my wife and I, Martha and I, left Lafayette in 1988, and we always called it home. We both went to school here. We always wanted to come back home. And that little trigger was not around at all along the way. And we bounced between a lot of places, a lot of states, and did a lot of work. But once we reconnected with Michelle and Bryan, he was the catalyst really of bringing us back home to Lafayette and get engaged with it. So,
George, on that note, when Carrie and I arrived in 2017, both Bryan and Michelle treated us like immediate family. Mm-hmm. And certainly with Bryan's investment, both from his time, his talent, and his treasure into UL Athletics, we would not be where we are today without the support of Bryan and many others, obviously. Mm-hmm. But we know tonight is about Bryan.
Tonight is all about Bryan.
And I can't thank him enough. And with that said, we all know you cannot spell thanks without Hanks.
Well said. Humor also, not only good looks
and humor.
If I may say also, Bryan to me epitomizes the contribution to not only the university but to the community in general. I find his heart to be one of the biggest around. There's no personal agenda when it comes to Hanks. He's in the oil and gas business. We're bringing some of the renewable side. He was the first one to stand up and say, what can we do? How can we do it? Again, everything to him is the advancement of the university, the community, the area, which is I can't ask for anyone else or anything else really around.
I agree. And you were able to say something?
Well, I was just going to say, to our good friend Bryan Hanks, certainly without him, we don't become the distinguished Carnegie R1 University that we are.
Amen. Most certainly. And I'll tell you a bit about Bryan. I've known him for some time, but most recently, during this session, we've had an extraordinarily impactful session that brought in significant resources into the university's academic and research programs, as well as our expanding our athletic footprint. And none of that would have been possible if it were not for Bryan working on a daily basis with me. And even on days that I couldn't go to legislative session, he was there every single day, working with Senator Joel Boudreaux, Senator Paige Cortez, Stuart Bishop, Jean-Paul Cousson, Boboe, and every member of our delegation, making sure he was advancing our institution's research priorities, academic priorities, and athletic priorities. So he is a 360-degree impactful person, touching every aspect of the university in ways in which the university can maximize what it is that we do and how we impact our community. So,
well said, Ramesh. As a matter of fact, it's easy to donate or easier to donate financially to the university. and to the community. But when you bring your time, your resources, and exactly what you said, this is really what sets him apart from the rest. So it's fantastic to finally honor such a good friend and such a great leader.
So let's
With that said, let's raise our glass to our good friend,
Bryan Hanks, a man who has great taste in good friends, good family, and good wine.
Good wine. There you go.
Cheers.
Cheers.